Transportation nerds are some of my favorite people because that's who I am. They typically bring deep personal commitment to how they get around. They love the details, and these folks focus less on the flashy first-of-a-kind tech and more on making the existing systems work better and reducing friction. Hi, my name is Ryan Panchadsaram. I'm a co-author of Speed and Scale, and I can't wait to see what you do with the Climate Tech Map. So one of the best things a city can do to reduce emissions is to install protected bike lanes. I've been excited about bike lanes for a few years now, and for a good reason. I love bikes, but a bigger reason is that transportation is the biggest urban source of emissions, and car commutes can be miserable. How do you get people out of their car or into different alternatives? Because the real secret is people only get on bikes when it's safe. Safety concerns are the biggest barrier for people jumping on a bike, especially if you have kids, especially if you want to go long distance. And so these protected bike lanes are the trick. And you can see this working all around the world. Just zoom into Europe and you can see the magic of biking all year round through all these seasons. And so biking really goes after this little statistic called vehicle miles traveled. And so when we have our electric vehicles and people picking different ways to get places like bicycles, you really start to make a dent at it. But you can't make every trip on bicycles. So we're gonna have to try to find solutions for longer forms of travel, right? Alternatives to flight, alternatives to trains. And so that's where we're gonna need some real innovation. Transportation already produces nearly a quarter of global emissions. And if we don't change course, global transport demand could double by 2050, with emissions rising by as much as 60%. So the hardest part to tackle is aviation, shipping, and heavy freight. These are the sectors where the physics of these weighty vehicles makes electrification challenging. Luckily, improving efficiency is one of those climate opportunities where doing the right thing is also the profitable thing. Improving efficiency saves money. Let's imagine a world where airlines have the most carbon-efficient flight paths with the aid of smart software, where freight networks self-optimize in real time, where cities are designed to make the easiest option for getting around the cleanest one as well. That world may be closer than we think. Here are 3 innovations that will help us get there: contrail management, lightweighting, and tech for advancing virtual work. On our podcast Speed and Scale, we had an episode that showed how you can fly more sustainably today. And honestly, it changed the way that I think about aviation. Because aviation is a tough sector to decarbonize. Planes last a long time, and you can't swap out the global fleet overnight. But we talked to experts who made a really compelling case for a near-term lever that's hiding in plain sight: contrails, those heat-trapping white streaks behind planes. Here's the wild part. Small changes in altitude, sometimes just a few thousand feet, can avoid the atmospheric conditions that create long-lasting contrails, potentially cutting half of aviation's climate impact at a relatively low cost. The challenge is knowing where contrails will form in real time and safely and seamlessly integrating that data into flight planning. That's where contrail management software comes in. It combines AI, weather, and satellite data, and the best thing is it can be scaled across all airlines. There's no new airplanes required. Another compelling innovation area is lightweighting. This applies to everything: planes, ships, trucks, trains, you name it. As you might remember from high school physics class, heavier things take more energy to move. So if you can reduce weight and drag, you can cut energy use and emissions without changing anything else. Finally, imagine arriving at your office and checking your calendar for the day. You have an immersive conference session with your team in the morning, followed by a VR meeting with your manufacturing partners in Asia. Business travel and commuting contribute to transport emissions, but not every trip creates the same value. So as next-generation telepresence tools continue to improve, they offer a practical alternative. We're all still figuring out the in-person office post-COVID, but these technologies will surely play a role in the future of work. Now let's talk about moonshots. One is radically redesigned aircrafts and ships. Today's planes and ships are built around fossil fuels. If we rethink how we design these airframes and hulls to make them lighter and more efficient, it unlocks different ways to propel them. A future of hydrogen-powered flight and electric flight could be real. Another moonshot is ultra-high-speed ground transport. Imagine moving between cities at near aircraft speeds without the airports and without the fossil fuels. Technologies like advanced rail, magnetic levitation, or Hyperloop could reshape how people think about distance entirely, without the hassle and the emissions that come with plane travel. This is an incredible time to work in transportation efficiency. Advances in AI make it dramatically easier to optimize routes, plan trips, and save fuel, time, and money all at once. With innovations coming fast and furious, it's an exciting place to focus one's energy. For anyone getting into the space, first, think about how you travel, and think about what you can do to make it better, and if that idea could scale to lots of people. Because the thing is, if it likely works for you, it probably will work for more people, and it's a really easy thing to test. One thing I wish more people understood is that efficiency is critical to the energy transition for transportation because it gives us more time to innovate. Even as we work towards more electric vehicles and faster trains, efficiency helps us cut emissions right now. It reduces congestion, lowers costs, and makes every future technology more effective as it arrives.